All right, here with John H. Lilly of the Independence Patriots. John, coming up a big win over Barnesville on Friday night. We'll get there in a second, but you got another one coming up. This might be the best team that you'll play this season, regarding playoffs, irregardless. Princeton Tigers down there on Friday night.
Well, they're definitely one of the best in the state. That's for sure. We played, and I'm pretty proud of our team because we played Herbert Hoover, which is one of the best in the state. Martins Ferry, one of the best in the OVAC, the number one team in the OVAC. Barnesville, we played Bluefield, which is ranked top 5 in AA, and then Barnesville, which was the number one team in the OVAC. Now we're playing Princeton, so I'm really proud of our team. That's a challenge that 7 years ago I would have never dreamed that we could even tackle that challenge. So it's just the next one, and hopefully we can go out and perform and make our community proud.
Well, they've obviously got a team of all-staters. You have the same thing. They're in AAA, you guys are AA. Before we get there, let's talk about the Barnesville game. I mean, a lot of people were telling me that might be the best regular season win in school history.
Well, it probably rank up there in the top 2 or 3, that's for sure. They're a pretty good football team. They got a
regular season,
yeah,
not bigger than the championship.
Yeah. But they got a good football team. They're huge, which worried me. They beat us up pretty good. Yeah, we're paying for it today. We got some kids really banged up. We've got a lot of our players with bumps and bruises, that's for sure. And it's affected how we practice this week for the first time. And and they got a Division I tailback. And anybody who wants to see what a Division I tailback looks like, watch him. He was pretty, and he was tough. He was hard to bring down. We just wanted to slow him down. But I'm also really proud of our team because our team has showed up and they played hard and they fought, and hopefully that'll make us battle tested when the time comes that we need to be in there against one of the best. And when you play against the best, it gets you ready when you get to the playoffs.
How do you go, and I'm sure you've already watched a lot of tape on those guys, and you've probably seen a lot of them anyway, and you played them last year. How do you go about trying to defend a guy like Brad Mosser who can score running the ball, score catching the ball? He had a big interception against Woodrow Wilson on Friday night that turned that game around. And
well, honestly, the last 2 years, I don't know if anybody has slowed him down. I mean, he's going to get his. I mean, whether we lost undefeated in regular season play 2 years in a row now, I don't think they've lost a regular season game. Nobody stopped him, so it's a huge challenge for us to stop him. But they played some pretty good football teams, and he's got it. He's got it. Here's the thing. I'm really. I love watching and pulling for players who work hard. And even if they're not our kids, most. When you got Barker and Kaiser and Mosser, in every camp we go to, they're there. Every combine we go to, they're there. We're there. Except when we play them, I usually pull for them to do good because I like seeing kids who work hard get their due. And I hate seeing kids that don't do anything and they get a lot of pub. But these guys, those 3 guys, they work hard, they do their thing, and they're very difficult to stop. So, that's why they haven't been beaten 2 years other than one playoff game, right? So, we got our hands cut. We got our hands full.
Your own guys, you're coming off a game in which Brock Nelson, or rather Brock Green, thinking of Silas Nelson, but Brock Green, your quarterback, had a great game.
He did, and we knew eventually we'd have to turn him loose in situations, and they were just so big across the front, and you just wasn't going to run the ball much against them. I mean, they had 2 phenomenal linebackers. They averaged 300 across the front, but it wasn't a fat 300. It was a big 300 that could move, and we knew going into the game that it would be very difficult to run the ball. And if we tried to do some of the things that we've done in the past, we probably were not going to be successful. So, we turned Brock loose, and his 4 wide receivers are pretty good. 3 of them are seniors, and a freshman who's going to be special. And we just turned him loose, and he did his thing.
What's your opinion on Chance Barker, their quarterback? I mean, he's got this. I see a similar trajectory for Brock Green as Chance Barker had at Princeton. Now, Chance didn't start until his sophomore year, but he's sitting on 8,000 yards, over 8,000 yards, 100 touchdown passes. I see Brock kind of along those same lines.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, I love watching Barker play. He's a good kid. I mean, he's worked hard. He's put in his dues. I mean, I can remember, many games where, he struggled, and then all of a sudden the light bulb went off and he started lighting people up, and that's what we've seen happen with Brock. With Brock's first 2 games last year, we're on Metro News TV, and he starts as a freshman on a Thursday night. Well, that means everybody in the state's watching you play. And he had to go out there as a freshman, and he threw a touchdown. He still threw for 126 yards, but to do that on Metro News statewide TV, I knew we had something special. So, in each game, he's continually got better. And you know what? Here's the thing: people always want to pit kids against each other and all that other stuff. There's room for 2 good quarterbacks in Southern West Virginia. There's room for 3. You know what? So let's just kick back and enjoy them.
I can probably think of 3 right now.
Yeah. So let's everybody kick back and watch them and enjoy it. You may not get it for a while, and jump on the rodeo and hope all 3 of them do good. We just hope he doesn't do good Friday night.
Gotcha. You have a guy, Talon Atkins, 5'8" guy, leading tackler. Does he kind of, you're a linebacker guy, you've always coached great linebackers. Is he a guy that's on that list? I mean, just talk about him a little bit, what he's been able to do with his career.
Yeah, I think he's, the progress he's made in just the last year alone, has been pretty phenomenal. He doesn't have the size of some of the other linebackers that we've had, but you know what? He makes up for it with quickness. I think a lot of it is, he's a good wrestler, and went to the state championship in wrestling. So he's got a knack for, dunking and diving and dinking, you know what I mean? He just gets in the mix, and wherever the football is, he's somewhere around it. He's come a long way, and as far as mentally come a long way. And that's where I'm most pleased with, is learning the position and learning how to play and learning how to read. And that's the biggest thing with linebackers. If linebackers can't read their keys, they can't play. They're just guessing. So once he learned how to read, and some of these bigger linemen that we play, they're easy to read. So he's really improved, and a weight room junkie too. I mean, he lives in a weight room. So
how tough is it for a guy at that size to play at this level in this day and age, when everybody just about is in the weight room or doing something to make themselves better?
It's tough because, a lot of people aren't down blocking anymore. There's a lot of zone blocking. So the linebackers are always accounted for. That's why everybody does the zone blocking. So, it's kind of hard to, when you're down blocking, you can miss those linebackers a lot if they know how to read quick. But in the zone blocking, you could still read, but those guys are, one of those 2 guys are picking you up off the scrape. So he's had to learn, to read both the zone block as well as down block, because we kind of play teams, like last week was a down block team. This week's going to be more zone. So, the biggest thing is he's learned how to read, and he's so quick, and I think it's because of wrestling. He's so quick that he makes his read really quick. Next thing you know, he's on the ball.
What are going to be the keys to this game on Friday night, do you think, for you guys to come out on top?
Well, I think 2 things. Whenever you play a big game, I've always believed this. Special teams plays a huge play in it. And same thing happened last year. We kicked the ball. We had it all. Everybody got all bundled up. We had him pinned in, and then he made a great play and bounced it to the outside and scored the opening kickoff. So, we lost momentum from the very first play the very first kickoff.
That was still a game at halftime, I believe, right?
Yeah, I was proud. We battled. We did. We battled with them. We were really young on the offensive line. We had 3 freshmen last year, and playing
That's where you had some injuries, and another guy, a couple guys left.
Alex broke his hand. But we had 3 freshmen start that game. So anything that we got out of that was, positive. But I think it made us better. Playing good teams makes you better. And that's what our kids have learned. You can go beat up on somebody, but it don't make you any better. But, when you play teams like Barnesville and Princeton, you're going to play better. It's going to make you better.
John, I always appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.